So this is Caesar. He's 4 years old, and his problems are he lunges unpredictably at other dogs. So this is Caesar's neighborhood, and this is our daily walk. And just, 3 pit bulls in a van that are barking at him. And, any dog's gonna get a little apprehensive or nervous around dogs barking at him from a car. But, Caesar might take it to a little bit more extreme. He'll flail, bite at the leash, jump, and we're trying to get him past that. When Caesar sees another dog, his main problem is he gets unpredictable and jumps up and tries to go at the other dog. And the reason he does that is because he's on leash. He can't flee the situation, and he can't hold his ground because the other dog might still be coming at him. And so his tactic is to jump up high and growl and hopefully keep the other dog at bay. I've got a waist harness on for Caesar. He is so strong that the metal pieces on the leash can break off, and so I don't want to put anybody at risk if that happens while he's in the learning process. You notice I have him on a double leash. So if this leash fails, I've got a safeguard. And if you notice, this leash is around his face so I can control his head movements better. And I've got it marked so it's easy for me to see which one is his head and which one is just around his neck, so that I have better control when he's out of control. So I've been working with dogs for about 10 years. Usually I've been able to train them to exhibit better behaviors, but Caesar's been my hardest case. I've never had a dog this difficult to work with and to figure out. The thing about it is he's a fast learner. I could see that, but I couldn't get him past a certain point of training. I'm a dog trainer, but Caesar's problems were extraordinary, and I needed to call in an animal behavioralist, so I called Wendy Mah. He's doing pretty good. He's still kind of...
I was contacted recently by Nancy with a dog that she's been working with, Caesar, and the problems that she presented to me was that when Caesar saw other dogs, he would jump up, flail around, even at times try and bite her. But the weird thing was he would lunge up at some dogs and not others, and Nancy couldn't quite figure out what the problem was. So I asked Nancy to join my class so that I could see Caesar and her in action around other dogs. If you know where your dog's trigger zones are,
Caesar and I are here to take Wendy Mah's dog training class.
I noticed in class Caesar was paying attention to all the other dogs around him, but very little attention to Nancy. And Nancy was paying very little attention to Caesar as well. Nancy didn't have much trust in Caesar for obvious reasons, and Caesar could feel that lack of confidence in Nancy. So I knew I needed to get Nancy and Caesar to build that confidence in each other and work as a team.
So Wendy pointed out that I was looking at the environment more than I was looking at Caesar. I was trying to keep him safe around other dogs, but that took my attention off of him. And he was also doing the same thing. So she pointed out that we needed to form a better relationship as far as eye contact and attention to each other. Caesar, good boy. Caesar, good boy, Caesar. Good boy. Oh, that's a good boy.
So I recommended to Nancy that instead of feeding Caesar regular meals, that Caesar get all of his nutrition through Nancy as they walk through the neighborhood and around dogs.
So instead of worrying about the dog, he's looking for his treat. And since Caesar hasn't had breakfast or dinner, he's really motivated to look up and, get some of those cheese or chicken or, his breakfast.
So now getting his food from Nancy is more important than any other distractions out in the environment.
He's practicing almost every moment on the walk on how to behave nicely,
which results in a strong bond and trust in Nancy.
Because we want him less worried about the dogs and more interested in getting his reward for looking up at me. So we were walking past a dog that was barking and lunging at Caesar, and I'm kind of a little reactive. So due to the training I've done with Wendy, instead of being reactive to that dog, he walked calmly by. That's success. So right now we're using food to reinforce the eye contact, but later when he's doing this habitually without any problem, without having to think about it, the food's gonna disappear and he'll just walk by dogs and look up and just be as happy as can be.
So it's been about 2 weeks since I first started working with Nancy and Caesar, and he's made great strides.
He's definitely on the way to becoming a well-mannered, good canine citizen. Huh, Caesar Wees? Yes, you are. He's a good boy. Yeah.
So when a dog trainer gets stuck on a dog's case and can go no further, they rarely seek out the help of another trainer. And the dog is the one that really suffers in the end. So the fact that Nancy actually sought out help actually could have saved Caesar's life in the long run. So in the future, if I ever were in the same situation and was stuck with a dog, absolutely, I would look for somebody who had that skill that I didn't have. Because in the long run, it's all about helping the dog, not perpetuating your own ego.